What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on Cosmos by Umesh at Black Box Magic Creations. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you like these things, please consider subscribing. Now, I know it's been a while. I haven't done a review in quite some time. I quit buying magic and I started to focus more on what I have and putting together a show that flows for different kind of environments and age groups. So that's kind of what I've been working on. Just don't have the money to keep spending on reviews. So I have had some things that have been sent to me. This is one of them. I also have something coming from Black Cat Magic, so check that out. Another thing is I've had some apps that were sent to me that I still haven't reviewed. One of them is Topics, and honestly, I don't know if I'm able to review it. Something with my phone with web apps doesn't want to work. So I've been trying to figure that out. I've been trying updates, and I don't know. It's just web apps do not seem to want to work. So I'm having a hard time getting around to reviewing any apps. I don't know if I'll be able to. Anyway, let's get to the review. So Cosmos, what is it? So in short, I'm going to try not to overly expose anything in this video. I've been given permission to kind of show it in full, but I'm not going to show the workings and things like that. I just don't feel like that's fair to those who have purchased it and those who are going to purchase it. Now, what this is it is a thermal printer that is built into a wallet housing. Now, before everybody gets upset because there is another printer wallet out there, different companies or developers create things that are very similar at times. Look at the scales, the magic scales that came out. There was the original one that came out, and then that was followed by like 7 more, right? Same with impression pads, electronic impression pads, right? It's come down to basically a small device that is either housed in something that is organic and normal looking, or it's a device that's so small that you can put it into pretty much anything. So yeah, I know that there's other things like this on the market. I don't have any experience with those things, so I won't be doing comparisons, but I'm just here to review this, and that's what I'm going to do. So what do you get? So I'll show you what's in the box here. First off, you are going to get the wallet. Now, this is the bifold version. Okay, so it looks like a standard wallet. You got slots for cards. You have a zipper compartment. Now, this comes with a playing card that you can place in the ID window. I didn't like the look of the playing card myself. I wouldn't normally store a playing card in the ID slot, so I put my driver's license, and I like that. So we'll come back to this in a little bit. Now, like I said, this is the bifold version. Put this in my pocket for now. This is the bifold version. You can also get a card holder version. Now, for those who want the slimmest model, you may think that the card holder version is the slimmer of the two. The bifold is actually the slimmer version. That's what Umesh told me, and that's actually what I wanted to go for anyway, because I personally like bifold wallets. So after that, you are going to get the charging cable. You will get some lottery tickets. So I'll go over kind of the effects and routines that that you're able to do with this. So you have some that I think are from the UK, and then you also have some US lotto, so Powerball. And that is basically so you can predict the lottery on the spot. You will get a regular roll of thermal printer paper. You will get a lined roll, which is my go-to. I like this one. And then you will also get one that works as well with like a book test. So it looks like a page from a book. Now, what you would do is you would tear this off and you would tear this side so it doesn't look, all straight. And anyway, the word that they're thinking of will actually be printed on this blank spot in a sentence. So that's really cool. All right, so we're going to just kind of demo this. The wallet's in my pocket where it would be. Now to come up with a word. So with your participant, you would have them think of a word. Now, again, there's going to be other input methods, different apps that you can use. Two of them right now are Inject and Wikitest. So if that's your preferred method, then by all means use those. Right now, I'm just using one of the input methods that is included with the app on its own without any integrations. So what's nice is you don't actually have to get them to say the word. So that's, I think, a big thing there. But I just went to a random word generator. So right now it's survival, but we're going to do something else. So we'll generate random words. What do we got? Mouth. Okay. So the method that I most often have been using is within the app. So what you would do is you would give them your phone. You'd open the notes. And this works the same as you would with a Peak wallet where they're writing something down, right? It's so that if they change their mind later, then we have proof that this was what they thought of, right? So you would give them that. You would tell them to write down the word. Don't let me see it, and then hold it to your chest. So they would write down their word and then hold it to their chest. And in that time, you can just communicate with them, have a conversation. I usually do some cold reading. So with that, if I'm hitting, then great, I'll keep going with it. And if I'm not, then I just change things up. I go, okay, don't think of like an image or anything. I just want you to think of the word itself as if you were seeing the word. And then after they've thought of the word, I would say, okay, this is starting to make sense. So what I did earlier was I wrote down a word that just came to me, and I put it in my wallet. Here, let me just get that out. So it's actually in the zippered compartment here, which you would open up, bring out, and then you can see you will say mouth. But I usually say something like, this word came to me. I ripped out a piece of paper, grabbed a marker, wrote it down, just threw it in my wallet. So anyway, they never said what the word was until after everything was done, right? So I think that's huge that they can stay quiet, right? They're holding the phone so that only they could have seen it, right? And then ultimately you had predicted that well in advance. So that's just the most basic, presentation of this, just using what's in there with the app. Some other things that you can do. So I'm just going to open the app here because that was one method, using the notes. There's also a calculator that just looks like the iOS calculator, right? Your notes looks like your regular notes app. You can also print images. Now, it does have to be in black and white unless the thermal paper is of a different color. But again, you can't print full color pictures. There's also a hand drawing. So I haven't used that one yet because obviously you don't want them to draw something and then in your wallet you drew the exact same thing, right? Because that just wouldn't look, I don't think that would be possible. But basically, if you wanted to just quickly on the spot, say you're doing ESP and you wanted to draw a triangle, right? It'll print that rather than having to search an image and put that in there. There's still more that you can do with this. Let me just go into some of the other things. So you have the book test, right, which is really cool. I think I kind of explained that. You can also predict a digital time. So when it prints, what it's going to look like is that you drew an alarm clock, and then there'll be the digital time. There's also analog time, and that looks like when it prints, you'll have a drawing of a circle with 12 little lines representing the hour and minutes. And then whatever time you input, it will print the hands accordingly. And then you have it looks like It wasn't the UK lotto, it was the California lotto and the New York lotto. And then you have a magic square. So it'll actually print a magic square, and it will do all the calculations for you immediately, but it prints out, perfectly in the square. It looks like you drew the square and you wrote in the numbers. So it's the quality. So the quality of this, it's been perfect for me, right? It's never failed. I've been using it a fair bit, testing it out. I haven't really got out to perform with it at shows, but I have done it for a few people, and the input method has worked perfectly, and it never seemed strange or suspicious to anybody that they've mentioned anyway. So that's really good. Now, Umesh also recorded a video of him doing like a durability test, to where he was like beating on this printer and then just showing you that it still works perfectly. So I think the construction is really good. I think that he has managed to house this very well. And I don't know if I'd put this in quality or not, but it's extremely easy to use. So loading the paper and everything, that's all very easy. Understanding the app and how the unit itself, the device works, is also very straightforward. He has posted a number of tutorials. He keeps updating the tutorials, so as the app is updated and whatnot, he updates the tutorial as well, so that's always good. You can really customize this too. So there's like, I don't even know how many different fonts, tons, but the one that I use, I find that it looks really, really good. Like, it looks like you wrote something with a fine point marker, and it doesn't look like a font. It looks like actual printing, right? So, well, you've seen that there, right? So it looks awesome. Anyway, the tutorial and difficulty level, like I mentioned, Umesh goes over everything very well. I am not great with technology. I find that I can struggle sometimes to understand it and to get it to all flow and work, but I didn't have that issue with this. Just watched the tutorial once and I was ready to perform it, really. And then, I mentioned difficulty level. It's not difficult at all. I think the level of difficulty using this is anybody can do it. It doesn't take practice or anything like that. If you want to throw in like some cold reading and stuff, then you obviously are going to want to get decent with that and stuff. But use your presentations that you'd use in mentalism. Don't just in my wallet here's this and reveal like that, obviously. But so I think that any difficulty doesn't have to do with this itself. It's more the presentation, but that's however you want to do it. Angles are really good. Like, they're not going to see anything going on because it's happening in your pocket, out of sight, right? And in real time. The only thing that you should worry about with angles is when you turn this on, basically when it's on, there is a really bright green LED light. Now, that gets covered with the playing card, but it can be seen through this little slot here. So what I did was I just took a piece of electrical tape, cut off a small square, and placed it over top. That fixed it. You don't have to do that, and I don't even know if people would see it, but I just felt better covering it, so I did. And who knows, maybe down the road there'll be a way to turn off the LED, but that basically just lets you know that it's on. The setup and reset, so you obviously can't set this up in front of people, right? You do have to go into the workings of it, which you have to do out of sight, but it doesn't take long. So I don't want to show that part, that exposes too much, but basically there's two ways to load the paper. There's a manual way, and then there's an auto feed. Both work really well and take seconds. It's not a long setup or reset. It's just not something you can do out in the open. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask, how loud is it? So I don't know if you heard it happening when it was when I was doing it here, but this is a extremely quiet room. This used to be a recording studio for music, so it's all acoustics and foam. So basically, like, there's no ambient noise in here whatsoever. Any ambient noise, like in my house, for example, I've done this to my wife and my kids, and you couldn't hear a thing. And that was maybe with just the ceiling fans going, and not a lot of noise, but it covered it. Plus, it's going to be in your pocket, so that kind of muffles any sound too. And then if you're talking over it too, like they're not going to hear anything. It is actually very, very quiet. Can it be inspected? And pocket space. So can it be inspected? No, right? Obviously not. Pocket space, it fits in your pocket. It's meant to. It's a wallet. As far as inspection and examination, I've never been too worried about that. You're bringing the wallet out in front of them. You're opening the zipper compartment. You're reaching in and pulling it out. They see you doing all of this, right? I don't think anybody's going to think there's a printer in the wallet. And if they do, I mean, I kind of had this conversation on Facebook the other day. If people are just going to jump to technology is the method to everything, then that's just what they're going to do, right? I don't think has anything to do with the products or the technology themselves. It's just people that don't want to suspend their belief and reality. They're going to assume that technology this and technology that. So I'm not worried about examination. I haven't run into that problem, and I just don't think it's going to be a thing. So what's the price, and is it worth your money? First off, before I get to the price, there is a code that you can use that will get you 10% off, which is going to be decent savings. This is not expensive, but it's not cheap, right? I guess it's cheap in regards to what it is, but still, it's somewhat of an expense when it comes to buying a magic product. Now, if you use the code Chris, that's all lowercase CHRIS 10, no spaces or anything, that will get you 10% off. So use that, right? 10% off is 10% off. It's going to save you some money. So the price on this is $349 US dollars, which I think is a very good price for what this is. Not only is it something that allows you to do incredible magic and mentalism, but there is already a lot of different variety in what you can do with it and what you can perform. So whether you just want to look like you wrote something down on a piece of paper, or the lottery, pictures, and the list goes on, right? And then I think as Umesh continues to develop and update, there'll be other integrations. I know a lot of people use Inject, a lot of people use Wikitest. So the fact that now you can use those and also have, this printing capability, I think is really cool. So $350 for this, I think that's a good price, right? There's other printers like this on the market that are triple, quadruple the price. And, I have nothing to say about those ones because I have no experience with them, right? So now, in talking with Umesh right now, he is selling this, I wouldn't say privately, it's publicly sold, but it's just through him and Black Box Creations. He hasn't put this out to be distributed through a larger magic distribution company like Vanishing, Penguin, Murphy's, whatever, right? Now, if that's the case, the price will go up. He said probably around $500. So with that, I think if you can get in on this now, buy it through his website directly, it'll be $349. Use Chris10 to get the 10% off. And, that's probably going to be the best price that you're going to get. And I think that that's an extremely good and fair price. So I don't really know what else to say with this, right? You can predict words, pictures, numbers, lottery, book test capability to look like the word that they were thinking of is the word. Oh, and the thing is, when you do that one, you're going to know where that word is going to print. So before it happens, when you're loading in the paper, you can highlight that spot with a highlighter. That's kind of the point of that, and I forgot to mention it, but you can highlight that spot with a highlighter, so when it prints, their thought of word will be the only word highlighted on the page, and that word is incorporated into a sentence. So it just looks absolutely impossible. I think that that's a incredible effect, and yeah, he's really put a ton of thought into this. And in talking with him since even before getting this, I know he's been developing and updating, and just he keeps expanding the things that you can do with this. So I think that that's going to continue to happen. I think the longer that this is out, the more you're going to be able to do with it. So pros and cons. It's quiet, so that's a pro. It happens in real time, very simple to use. The only negative that I had was that just those bright lights, right? Because if I was in a dark setting, then it's possible that when you open this, bright lights like bright green LED, or even maybe when you open the zippered compartment, they might see a light in there. That wouldn't be good. So if there is a way, down the road in the app where you can go into the settings and turn off the LED indicator, that'd be awesome. If not, I found a workaround, just a piece of tape. I don't think you need to have the lights there. So yeah, that was my only negative, was, are people going to see this light? So I fixed it, I guess. So really, I have no negatives. It's extremely affordable. It's compact, it's small, it's very durable from what I've seen in the video, and I've been playing around with it for probably about a month now, and yeah, I love it. So great job, Umesh. With that, that's about all I got for this one. So check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Use that code Chris10, and with that, we'll see you at the next review.